it was a strange idea. I knew people were doing it, but at the same time, no one talked about it. Like if I
Yeah.
had friends who were doing it, it was kind of that thing where you didn't tell anyone about it. Most
Yeah.
people didn't. Cut to today, it's so
I was gonna
different.
say I definitely did for
Yeah,
other reasons.
yeah, obviously. Uh,
Yeah.
but but like 10 odd years later, it seems to be the most popular way to meet people. It's not a hidden thing. I don't know anyone who's ashamed of saying I am
It's
online
the
looking,
only way of meeting people.
especially with the pandemic. Once it happened, like what other way was there? In fact,
Yeah.
didn't a lot of websites accommodate video chats to make it possible
Video
for you to
chats and you can have your try having your first date online. I was like,
yeah,
this is the apocalypse. It's like no.
yeah. So I'm personally an advocate for online dating. I met my wife online
Yeah.
and my now wife online, and it was definitely, at the time when I met her, I had probably been doing it long enough where I was comfortable with it, and I didn't have a problem telling people that I had met someone
Yeah.
online. I had actually been with people at that point where we were dating, and when someone else, a third party or a friend of a friend, might have asked, "Where did you guys meet?"
Yeah.
She was not. She's like, we had to have our stories straight in terms of what are we telling people. Did we meet at a bar? Did we meet, at a coffee shop? How did we meet? I'm like, why would you want to make it up? Because there was still that sense of
You want to make
online.
it more romantic and natural, right? Rather
Yeah,
than
the meet cute story sounds way better than, oh
yeah.
yeah, I was just online and I clicked on his
Yeah.
picture and he looked all right. So, but yeah, I wanted to ask you, what is it like today? I feel like people have almost grown tired of it. The novelty is definitely worn off with the whole meeting people online.
Look, I think my community was the first to introduce online dating for a variety of purposes, right? The
Right.
LGBTQ community, they've always had these websites. Back when I was in undergrad, they had something called planetromeo.com.
Okay.
All right, which is where Grindr did not exist. Even if it existed, definitely not in India. This
Right.
is we are talking what from 2008 to 2012, right? Grindr
Right.
was not a thing. No, no. There was something called the Meet M. There was something called Planet Romeo, and a lot of people used Orkut as well back then
Oh,
to meet up
yeah.
other gay guys or your lesbian partners, whatever.
Yeah.
So I think for me, that was always the norm. I mean, especially in a country like India or even the US at that point, where, um, being anything but straight was not safe, so to speak.
Hmm.
The only way you met while keeping your discretion was through online apps.
Hmm.
And of course, then Grinder came and exploded on the on everybody's face, and now it's like even straight people know exactly what it is and what
Yeah.
it sounds like.
Yeah.
They're
But
ding, it's like
exactly. But because uh, I think the idea of Tinder was based off of Grinder. Grinder came first.
it's literally Grinder.
Yeah. Grinder for straight people
It's
was Tinder, minus the proximity location thing, which was not going to work in most straight
Yeah, and
situations.
that's where I was going to say that the only reason the app is so different between Grinder and Tinder is because of the gender.
Hmm.
Because women don't really function the same way. Grinder, at the end of the day, now is not a dating app; it's a hookup app.
Right.
All right, and guys in general will hook up more.
Hmm.
But the moment you introduce a female energy into the equation, the dynamics change a lot. It's no longer a hookup. You're not going to just meet, like, you're like 300 meters from me. Let's hook up.
No, that was it would become a security concern more than anything, especially
Which
yeah,
I
with
think it
straight
did
couples.
several times.
Yeah.
I think the version of Tinder that you see today it has evolved with a lot of security measures in place where only the woman can swipe onto you and you cannot swipe back. Like a lot of the power rests with the female.
Yeah.
Um,
Bumble.
whereas
Like, isn't that the idea that's where Bumble took it to the next step, where the you could match with people, like as
yeah,
a man, you could match with, let's whoever your partner is in this situation, let's assume it's a female,
yeah,
and the power to actually initiate the conversation is with And if
Yeah,
she, I think the match expires after some time if she doesn't
like 24
initiate it.
hours.
Right. She has to initiate it and then you go from there. So in some ways it does put the power on the other side, but at the same time, I heard one common complaint I heard from a lot of my female friends was, "What do you guys say to start a conversation other than hi?" I'm
Yeah,
like,
I
hi.
know it puts the onus on them, and I love that.
Yeah, it actually flipped it in that sense. Now you know how hard it is to start a conversation
Yeah.
without just saying hi and making it interesting for the other person. Yeah.
So one other girl, she's one of my closest friends now, and we always go through her app, like Bumble and stuff like that,
Yeah.
to kind of do the matches. And she's like, "All right, we've matched. Now what do I say?" I'm like, "Just give it to me." And I'm like, "Hey, how's it going?" Why is it so hard?
So
Like,
it's not hard, but at the same time, imagine you've matched with 10 people and all of them are saying, "Hey, how's it going?" That's the complaint
what
that
do
I
you
would get.
think happens? What do you think happens on Grinder? It's like either, "Hey, how's it going?" or it's like, "Dick pic, please."
Yeah, but
That
that's what I'm
either
saying.
one of
It's
the
a different,
two.
that's where it's a different equation, I think. Not everyone. Okay, so this is the other theory I have. It's not a theory, I think it's true. Where depending on who's asking you the question, if you match with someone that you genuinely think, like just based off the pictures, seems attractive, their
Yeah.
"Hey, how's it going?" is suddenly like not that bad. But if it's someone
Oh
you're
yeah.
kind of unsure of, it's like, oh, you're like one of the other 10 people that sent me, "Hey, how's it going?" Not interesting. I've heard this line so many times before. I need more. So
Isn't
yeah,
that human nature though?
yeah. It's
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 like
it's
if,
not a
if
male female thing. It's a
it's not a gender
human
thing, it's
being
just
thing.
human
It's a
nature.
human being thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's always more compelling if the person who's saying something is beautiful.
Right. Yeah.
You know,
Beautiful in your
it's
eyes, whatever that is to you. Everyone is attracted
whatever
to
that is
whatever
to
they're
you,
attracted.
but
Yeah.
automatically everything just turns nice, pink, and pretty. And whereas if somebody's average is like, "Oh, what the hell? Stay away from me. I don't know you."
But then there were the other ones, at least when I had first started, many years ago, where you knew if you were on these apps, you're probably more inclined to look for something serious, like the OK Cupids. I don't know where that stands today, but
ChristianMingle.com.
farmers only.
Yeah.
There's a few of them. There's so many. I never got on all of them, but
I will tell you this when I talk to my friends who are straight. I think Tinder has become more like social media.
in
It
what?
really does nothing. It's just another social media outlet at this point.
Just swipe,
Tinder, like,
swipe for
it's
fun.
just swipe. It's like nothing. Oh, you're on Tinder, whatever. But it's funny. The same people on Bumble, the approach is very different. I've heard that Bumble actually something happens. You know, um, and same for gay men as well. I think Bumble, like for me, it's like if I want to hook up, I'll go to Grindr. If I want to date, I'll go to Bumble. And it's happened. I've met the same person on both.
Are they different on both? Is it just because you actually matched
Yeah.
twice? Like they matched you with once on Tinder and then once on Bumble
No,
separately?
but Grinder. So okay, wait. Grinder is not a matching thing. Grinder, you just see whoever's there and you direct message.
Oh, it's a free for all. You don't have to
Yeah,
be
they
accepted or
can.
anything.
Or you can even tap, which is like a fire sign. It's like basically say, "Oh, the guy's hot and you're interested." It's
Okay.
like a tap. Or you can just text, and if the person responds, they respond. If they don't respond, they don't respond. Right.
Okay.
So there's no matching involved.
Right.
So there are times when you start living in a place, the people around you in your perimeter, they start becoming familiar. So I've seen people and I've matched with both, right?
Hmm.
And it's just the attitude is so different, so different. You know, when I start thinking and rethinking what should I ask and how should I speak is if I've met the person, I've been on a date, and I like the person. That's when I start getting conscious. I'm like, oh shit, I should, should I say this? Should I not say this?
Right.
It's there, of course, between men as well, but it comes in a bit later.
The actual dating thing, that's a whole other conversation. Because online is only as far as meeting the person. After that, you still have to date them and figure out if that's what your end game is.